Chapter 157. Yi Tian knew that he couldn't get any more treasures, so he stopped looking for them. Anyway, a building can only yield one treasure, and the rest of the time wouldn't yield too many treasures, and he didn't lack that little bit. Thereupon, Yi Tian began to cultivate. He cultivated a gold-level sword technique, the heavenly desolate sword domain, and with his 80% sword intent realm, he was enough to cultivate this sword skill to the realm of Shaocheng. In addition to cultivating gold-level sword skills, Yi Tian also began to cultivate at the saint level. The cultivation of the saint level is different from the king level. The king level mainly opens up the acupoint space, while the saint level opens up the brain domain, and divine consciousness is a basis for opening up the brain domain. In the 21st century, many experts believe that the brain domain of normal people can be developed to only 6 to 10%, but in fact, human beings have less than 1% of brain domain development. In the past, human beings knew too little about the brain domain, and naively thought that they had developed 10%, but it was only a shallow brain domain, and the deep brain domain consciousness space was not touched at all. And through cultivation, human beings have opened up the shallow brain domain, and their memory has greatly increased, but that is only to develop the shallow brain domain. What the holy level develops is the deep brain domain. Starting from 1% of the deep brain domain, every 1% of the brain domain that is opened, the strength, speed, and defense of the human body will increase significantly. Once 100% of the brain domain is opened, the body strength of the holy level will reach 10 dragon power. Therefore, if a saint-level extreme powerhouse does not have special talents, the strongest attack power is only 20 dragon power, which is far inferior to the current Yi Tian. If a martial artist doesn't increase his talent at the king level, it will be difficult to increase his talent when he reaches the holy level, and the talent pill can't add talent to the holy level. A saint-level person with no special talent has a status far inferior to a king-list genius. Of course, there are very few saint levels without special talents. After all, the basic ones who can cultivate to the holy level are cultivation talents above the morning star, and if a genius with a morning level cultivation talent can't get the treasures that increase their talents, it can only be said that they are too much of a failure. 3 days later, Yi Tian cultivated the gold-level sword technique Heavenly Desolate Sword Domain to the entry level, and 10 days later, the gold-level sword technique Heavenly Desolate Sword Domain was cultivated to the Shaocheng realm. At this point, Yi Tian's gold-level sword technique, the Heavenly Desolate Sword Domain, had temporarily fallen into a bottleneck, and it was difficult to break through again. But even so, Yi Tian was very satisfied, because the gold-level sword technique Tianwang Sword Domain can increase the attack power by 15 times. Although the increase in attack power is not much, it is a group attack knife skill, and it is awesome when facing a group battle. With 15 times the attack power of the Heavenly Desolate Sword Domain, Yi Tian's combat power skyrocketed a lot. He calculated. Now his body strength is 100,000 elephant power. After the increase of yuan power, it is 200,000 elephant power, that is, 0.2 dragon power. When he was promoted to the holy level, the strength talent was increased to 90% of the pseudo-arcane level, which can increase the attack by 80 times, and the Tianwang sword skill 15 times the attack. In this way, his strongest attack power reached 240 dragon power, which was completely capable of killing a group of top-level saints with no special talents in an instant. I'm really strong. Yi Tian took a deep breath and said, but he knew that the holy rank was just the beginning, and his deep brain domain was only open to 1%, and as he continued to open up the deep brain domain, his strength would be even more terrifying. Saint level, emperor level. After all, one day he will be like an ant in his eyes. Time passes, and a month's period is approaching. This day, a repulsive force came, and Yi Tian was teleported out by the temple space and appeared in the main hall of the temple. However, now he had removed his talent for disguise and had become his original appearance. Other kings were also teleported out. But, as soon as he came out, a wave of killing intent filled the void. Sun Qing, what the hell do you mean, actually hunting and killing the king level of our Zhanghai superbase? The wind and blood walked towards Sun Qing step by step, suppressing Sun Qing with momentum, making Sun Qing's face change. Because at this time, the wind slaughter blood was already at the holy level. Of course, wind killing blood is different from Sun Qing. He got a treasure in the temple space, and successfully raised his strength talent to the 70% pseudo-mystical level, so he immediately hit the holy level and raised the 70% pseudo-mystical level strength talent to the arcane level strength talent. In this way, the combat power of wind-killing blood skyrocketed many times, far surpassing Sun Qing. HMPH, the weak eat the strong. What if I kill them? Someone from your Zhonghai superbase killed the king level of our Changhe superbase, and also stole the treasures of a large hall. Sun Qing said angrily. At this time, he was scanning the entire hall with a pair of eyes, but he didn't find the young man. Obviously, they were all teleported together, so that person shouldn't have time to escape, right? Before Sun Qing could think about it, the wind and blood killing intent came. Consciousness is that I killed you, it's okay? Sun Qing felt the killing intent of the wind and blood, and was immediately frightened, and hurriedly said, Wind and blood, you are crazy. You dare to kill me here, the emperor behind me will not let you go. You think I don't have the great emperor behind me? Wind-killing blood said coldly. Then, the other geniuses persuaded one by one. Yi Tian stood aside, but he understood. Sun Qing became a saint, and there was no way to obtain treasures, so he hunted and killed several geniuses of the Zhonghai superbase and robbed them of their treasures, but this matter was exposed. Thereupon, the wind and blood began to chase and kill Sun Qing. If he hadn't been teleported away in time, Sun Qing would probably be dead. That's when it happened. The temple began to shake. The temple is starting to disappear. Let's go! A king-level man rushed out of the temple, left the bottom of the river, and came to the top of the river. Many kings left one by one, but the wind and blood did not let Sun Qing leave, because one of the dead kings was from the Tomahawk Mercenary Pavilion. Just when Yi Tian thought that Feng-killing blood was going to fight Sun Qing, a figure appeared. That's an emperor, grandfather. When Sun Qing saw this emperor, he hurriedly said excitedly. Qing Yun Emperor. When Feng Slaughter saw this emperor, his face immediately changed. But soon, one of the emperors of the Tomahawk Mercenary Pavilion appeared. As soon as the great emperor appeared, he said directly, Emperor Qing Yun, 100,000 yuan chi stones, 10 treasures that increase the special talent of the king level, at least the primary talent. This matter will be revealed, otherwise let the wind and blood fight to the death with Sun Qing. Which one do you choose? Battle Blood Emperor, I am willing to give 100,000 yuan chi stones and 10 treasures that increase the special talent of the king level. Emperor Qingyun confessed. Emperor of Blood. Yi Tian's expression changed, and he also knew the origin of this great emperor, one of the 36 emperors on the emperor list. Although he was only ranked 17th, he was definitely an extremely terrifying existence. Emperor Qingyun is definitely far inferior to the Emperor of War Blood, so he has to admit it. Looking at the talent situation of this Battle Blood Emperor and Wind-killing blood, Yi Tian was very eager in his heart, but it was a pity that his current replication had cooled down, otherwise he would definitely have to copy the mystery-level talent on their bodies. Wind Slaughter Blood has an unimaginable strength talent, and the Battle Blood Emperor has an unimaginable boiling blood talent. Forget it, let's copy it later. Yi Tian said helplessly. Chapter 158. Yi Tian, let's go back together. The Holy Maiden of the Setting Moon walked over with a smile on her face. It was clear that she had gained a good harvest in the temple space. Okay. Yi Tian did not refuse, and left with the Holy Maiden of the Setting Moon. Back at the Zhonghai superbase, the two separated. When Yi Tian returned home, he notified Wang Yan as soon as possible. He had Wang Yan's contact information, and Wang Yan came to Yi Tian's residence as soon as he received Yi Tian's information. Yi Tian, it's great that you came back safely. Wang Yan looked at Yi Tian with a faint longing in his eyes. Yi Tian naturally knew what Wang Yan's eyes represented. He didn't hesitate, and directly took out a forging god pill. He used a brand new bottle to put it up. Sister Wang, this is the forging god pill. I was lucky to get it. It can temper spiritual power, but unfortunately, I only got one. One is enough. Wang Yan took the forging god pill very excitedly. Such an elixir, at most, you take one, and if you take it again, it will have no effect. If a forging god pill can't make me promote to the holy level, it should be that I have no hope of being promoted to the holy level. Sister Wang's accumulation is enough, and she will definitely be able to be promoted successfully. Yi Tian wished. Thank you for your blessings. Wang Yan smiled. Immediately, she looked at Yu Tian suspiciously. Yu Tian, your breath seems to be. Have you become a saint? Yes, I encountered a little trouble in the temple space, and I had no choice but to hit the holy level. Yu Tian said, I'm sorry for making you miss an opportunity. Wang Yan was a little ashamed. In her opinion, Yu Tian wasted the opportunity to impact the mystery level talent. It was entirely because of her. She didn't know how much Yu Tian had gained, but the opportunity to impact the arcane level was not something that ordinary harvests could offset. Yu Tian didn't explain. It was impossible for him to say that he had an arcane level defensive talent. This was about his whole cards, so he could naturally hide it. Wang Yan didn't stay long in Yu Tian's residence, and soon left. It seemed that he was in a hurry to hit the holy level. And Yu Tian also began to sort out this time's harvest. First of all, the weapon class. The best knife he got was the one that surpassed the top-level Yuanli knife weapon, which could be used as his main battle weapon in the future. The second is the Yuan Force Cultivation Secret Technique. Originally, he cultivated the Qingyuan Yuan Force Secret Technique, which was a second-class top-level Yuan Force Cultivation Secret Technique, but this kind of cultivation secret technique was undoubtedly a bit low. This time, he obtained second-class top-level Yuan Force Secret Techniques, but far more than one or two, more than 10. The best was the first-class top-level Yuan Force Cultivation Secret Technique, one of which was called the Golden Body Yuan Force Secret Technique. In fact, he also obtained two better first-class top-level Yuan Force Cultivation Secret Techniques, but the cultivation secret techniques were a bit weird, and he needed to use the corpse chi of the corpse to cooperate with the heaven and earth Yuan chi for cultivation. For those two secret techniques cultivated with corpses, he didn't dare to touch them at all. Although they could be replaced with fierce beast corpses, he didn't dare to guarantee what sequelae would be after cultivation. Anyway, the Golden Body Yuan Force Secret Technique is also a first-class top-level Yuan Force Cultivation Secret Technique, which is enough for him to use. In terms of sword skills, the owner of that hall should be a sword talent, so he has collected a lot of sword skills. In addition to the gold-level sword skills Tianwang Sword Domain, there are also some other silver-level sword skills, a total of 6 silver-level sword skills. Bronze-level sword skills are no less than 50. As for the elixir, some of them were very little preserved. Yu Tian found more than 100 bottles, mostly for elixirs such as refining the body, refining the meridians, and opening up acupoints, and there were also a few bottles of pills that assisted in opening up the brain domain. In addition, there are several books on formations, which record some top-level formations, and there is also a morning star formation. Yu Tian couldn't learn that morning star formation, because he didn't have the morning level formation talent, and besides, he didn't major in formation, so he wasn't too interested in formations. But there was only one formation, and he was very interested in it, the top-level Gathering Yuan formation. Yu Tian's current cultivation room is only a high-level cultivation room, and the top-level Gathering Yuan formation can allow him to build a top-level cultivation room. Once a top-level cultivation room is built, his cultivation speed will increase a lot. However, the materials for building a top-level cultivation room were even more precious. Some of them had already been found in that hall, and the remaining part should be tradable in the Scattered Cultivation Alliance. Other harvests were sorted out by Yu Tian one by one. There are so many treasures, many of which are of little use to him at all, so it is better to trade them. So, Yu Tian prepared to go to the headquarters of the Scattered Cultivation Alliance to trade. Headquarters of the Scattered Cultivation Alliance. Yu Tian came here and walked into the Scattered Cultivation Alliance. He spent a lot of effort exchanging the treasures for other treasures he needed, such as the Vitality Stone. Whether it is a high-level cultivation room or a top-level cultivation room, the demand for Yuan Qi stones is very high, and if there are not enough Yuan Qi stones, it is impossible to maintain the use of a top-level cultivation room. Moreover, the elixirs and medicines that quickly restore the Yuan force and the strength of the body are also needed by Yu Tian. He needs to turn on the time acceleration ability, and the consumption of strength is serious. If there are recovery drugs and pills, it is naturally better. A lot of treasures were traded, and Yu Tian harvested 80,000 Yuan Qi stones and other kinds of pills, saint-level fierce beast blood, and so on. Of course, the top good thing, Yu Tian hasn't started trading yet. He was going to trade the gold-level sword technique Tianwang sword domain in exchange for a single-attack gold-level sword skill, because he couldn't use the Tianwang sword domain as soon as he made a move. Wouldn't it cover everyone else as well? If he didn't use the heavenly desolate sword domain, his strongest attack power would be greatly reduced, which was not conducive to the explosion of his strength. Therefore, he urgently needed a gold-level sword skill in the single-attack category. Soon, he found information on trading gold-level sword skills. Gold-level knife skill for sale. Instant slash, trading requirements. Group attack gold-level knife skill, publisher, Crazy Knife Sage. It turned out to be a mission issued by the Great Sage of the Crazy Sword. Yi Tian was a little surprised. The Great Sage of the Crazy Sword is not an ordinary saint level, but a powerhouse of the Great Saint level. The Zhanghai Super Base has a strict division of the holy level, not according to cultivation, but according to combat effectiveness, which is divided into ordinary saint level, small saint, great saint, and saint king level. Among them, the saint level who does not have special talents has cultivated to the extreme of the saint level, and the body strength can reach the power of 10 dragons, and the attack power can reach the power of 20 dragons, just reaching the small saint level. The power of 20 dragons to 100 dragons belongs to the small saint level, while the great sage is 100 dragons to 1000 dragons, and more than 1000 dragons can be called the saint king level. The saint king level is too difficult to achieve, not a matter of talent, but a matter of cultivation speed. For example, those top kings on the king list, if they cultivate to the extreme of the saint level, they can easily reach the saint king level powerhouse, and even easily kill the average saint king level in seconds. But it is too difficult to open up the brain domain. Many of the battle geniuses on the king list are just morning star talents. If you want to open up 100% deep brain domain, maybe it will take hundreds of years, or even thousands of years to have hope. From the great changes of the earth more than 100 years ago to the present, the human beings on the earth have only cultivated for more than 100 years, and even the ancient humans did not have any powerful martial artists at the beginning, and they are not much better than modern humans. Therefore, many geniuses have stepped into the saint level so far, and the percentage of brain domains opened up is not much, so the powerhouses who can step into the great saint level are all very powerful existences, and there are very few at the saint king level. According to the ranking on the holy list, there are only 16 saint king level powerhouses. As for the great emperor, each of them has monstrous luck, similar to the ruins of the temple. It is estimated that they have obtained more than once or twice, but many times, and it took an unknown amount of resources, plus the talent of the Huiyi level to finally step into the emperor level. And the great sage of the crazy sword, ranked 37th on the holy list, is very powerful, not weaker than the current Yi Tian. Yi Tian took this transaction information and contacted the great sage of the crazy knife. Soon, the great sage of the wild knife is here. Chapter 159. Loose Repair Alliance, a room dedicated to trading. Yi Tian met with the great sage of the crazy sword. Strange holy level. The great sage of the crazy knife glanced at Yi Tian curiously, and found that he didn't know him. But he didn't care. After all, someone was promoted to the holy level all the time. He was often not in the Zhanghai Super Base, and it was normal not to know the newly promoted holy level. The Loose Cultivation Alliance, which only trades, does not involve other aspects. You're going to trade gold-level sword skills with me? The great sage of the wild knife opened his mouth. Not bad. Yi Tian nodded, but then said, I do have a group attack gold-level sword skill in my hand, but the value of a group attack gold-level sword skill is much higher than that of a single attack gold-level sword skill. Yi Tian's meaning is very clear. The value of my gold-level sword skill is higher than yours, and you should pay a little more. However, the crazy knife great sage said, you may not know, instant slash not only has the amplification effect of a single attack gold-level sword skill, but also can increase the sword technique by 2 times, and the value is not comparable to that of ordinary gold-level sword skills. Otherwise, I will not release the information of trading a group attack gold-level sword skill at an equivalent price. The Loose Cultivation Alliance pays attention to equivalent transactions, and as one of the top leaders of the Loose Cultivation Alliance, I will not break the rules. It can amplify the sword technique by 2 times. Yi Tian was overjoyed in his heart. This effect was similar to his silver-level sword skill Tianji slash. Okay, I agree. Yi Tian nodded. Immediately, the two began to swear an oath, and then they each took their gold-level sword skills. Yi Tian originally handed over the gold-level sword technique Tianwang Sword Domain to the Crazy Sword Great Sage, and the Crazy Sword Great Sage also handed over the original Instant Slash to Yi Tian, and the two exchanged gold-level sword skills. After confirming that it was correct, the two made a deal. Happy working together, happy working together. From beginning to end, the Great Sage of the Crazy Knife did not ask Yi Tian's name, and Yi Tian did not say anything. Equivalent trade, only trade, no other questions. Yi Tian was very satisfied with the gold-level sword skills that were traded, and then he found a buyer who traded a large number of sword skills, and traded 6 silver-level sword skills and many bronze-level sword skills to the other party, in exchange for 100,000 yuan chi stones. Subsequently, Yi Tian also hung up 2 first-class top-level Yuan Force cultivation secret techniques from the Black Heaven Corpse sect, and asked to trade 3 treasures that could allow the great martial artist to increase high-level special talents or 1 treasure that could increase top-level talents. Treasures that can increase talent have always been priceless, but first-class top-level Yuanli cultivation secret techniques have always been priceless, and his trading requirements are not high, so it can allow the great martial artist to increase the treasures of high-level special talents or the treasures of top-level special talents. If you let the king level directly increase the high-level talents, the value will definitely be more expensive. It is only cost-effective to train a martial artist from an early age, and if you wait until you are promoted to the king level before cultivating, the cost is far more expensive than cultivating a low-level martial artist dozens or even hundreds of times. If you reach the holy level and cultivate again, it is almost unrealistic, and no force can do it. So, Yi Tian wanted to add some talent to his sister Yi Yu as soon as possible, otherwise when Yi Yu was promoted to the king level, and then gave her a talent promotion, the price would be too high, and she would not be able to cultivate without the support of a top power. In just 3 days, the information that Yi Tian hung out was picked up, and someone contacted Yi Tian to make a transaction. Coming to the Scattered Cultivation Alliance again, Yi Tian saw the martial artist who traded with him. The other party is a king level, and Yi Tian still knows each other. It's you. Yi Tian was a little surprised. The other party turned out to be a king-level person he had seen in the temple space before, Lu Feng, who was ranked 23rd on the king list. Yi Tian, it turns out that the person who traded is you. It seems that the 2 first-class Yuan Force cultivation secret techniques you got were obtained from the temple space, right? Lu Feng was surprised. That's right. Yi Tian nodded. This is the Tianlin Cold Marrow, which can allow a great martial artist to directly increase the top-level ice talent. But unfortunately, the effect is not good for the king level, and there is only less than 1% chance of increasing the top-level ice talent. I have a top-level attack-type talent, so this treasure is of little use to me, and the first-class Yuan Force cultivation secret technique is useful to me, and I can use it to cultivate my own power. Lu Feng said. Yi Tian knew that Lu Feng was not lying, because Lu Feng had a top-level air lance talent, but the top-level ice talent was of little use to him. He was a king level, and the probability of being able to give birth to a top-level ice talent was less than 1%, and it was very likely that he could only give birth to a medium-level ice talent, so it was the most cost-effective for him to trade Tianlin Cold Marrow. Yes, let's trade, Yi Tian said. The two made an oath and immediately began the transaction. Lu Feng browsed the 2 first-class top-level Yuan Force cultivation secret techniques given by Yi Tian, and was immediately overjoyed. Very good first-class top-level Yuan Force cultivation secret techniques, even better than the secret techniques I cultivated. Although it is a little weird, there is no shortage of fierce beast corpses in this era. It is most suitable to use these 2 Yuan Force cultivation secret techniques to cultivate power. Very good. That's a good cooperation. Yi Tian smiled slightly. After this transaction, Yi Tian left. The rest of the treasures, he was not ready to trade. He just traded the trade. Now, he has an even more important thing to do. Go to the Demon Sea base to pick up my sister Yi Yu. After coming to the Zhonghai super base for so long, he had already inquired clearly. There was only one way to let foreign martial artists below the king level join the Zhonghai super base, and that was to come from the recommendation of the holy level. But there is only one recommended quota for a saint level, and once this quota is used, there is no way to recommend other martial artists to join the Zhonghai Superbase, unless it is an emperor-level opening. An emperor can lead a family to join the Zhonghai Superbase, and no matter how many people there are, it will not be affected. Because the strongest combat power of the Superbase is the emperor, the Superbase naturally welcomes an emperor to join, and naturally gives a variety of preferential treatment. The more the emperor came, the happier the Zhonghai Superbase became, and the stronger the Zhonghai Superbase naturally became. Before, Yi Tian was only a king level. Even if he was on the list of kings, he was still a king level. No matter how powerful his combat power was, it far exceeded the ordinary saint level, but it was still not a saint level, and he was not qualified to let a great martial artist join the Zhonghai Superbase. This is the rule, and it can't be broken. But now, Yi Tian has stepped into the holy level, and he is naturally qualified to bring his sister Yi Yu over. Back home, little blood, I'm going to go back to the Demon Sea Superbase and pick up my sister. Do you want to go with me? Yi Tian asked Xiao Blood. Don't go, I'm going to cultivate. Xiao Shui refused. Yi Tian knew Xiao Shui's careful thoughts, but he was still impacted. Xiao Blood has been inherited by the Dragon Clan, and his strength has improved by leaps and bounds recently. He has realized a mystery, and the top strength talent has become a pseudo-mystery level power, which is even enough to compare to a 4-star king level powerhouse according to his strength. It's a pity that the gap with Yi Tian is too big, and now Yi Tian has been promoted to the holy level. Xiao Shui, who was impacted, found that he couldn't even withstand Yi Tian's momentum, and felt a lot of pressure. Although he had been practicing harder recently, striving to comprehend more mysteries, so that his strength could catch up with Yi Tian as soon as possible. Then I'll go myself. Yi Tian patted Xiao Shui's head, and then turned around and left. Chapter 160. When he came to the Zhonghai Superbase from the Demon Sea Base, Yi Tian had been cautious along the way. But now that Yi Tian returned to the Demon Sea Base, he had no scruples. And the speed was much, much faster than before. Soon, they crossed the Changeling River, crossed hundreds of thousands of kilometers, and returned to the Demon Sea Base. From a distance, the Demon Sea Base was quiet, no different from before. Yi Tian did not forcibly penetrate the large array of the Demon Sea Great Base, but walked in through a portal. Soon, the news of Yi Tian's return to the Demon Sea Base spread. Inside a villa. Brother, you're back. Yi Yu looked at Yi Tian and ran over happily. Xiao Jin and Xiao Zi next to him were also jumping around, and they were quite happy to see Yi Tian, their former owner. Xiao Yu, you have made good progress. You are already at the limit of a great martial artist. Yi Tian praised, and his heart was also relieved. Fortunately, my sister Yi Yu is only a top-level cultivator, and her cultivation speed is not fast. Even if she has the assistance of a high-level cultivation room, due to talent problems, the cultivation increase effect is not good. She is still cultivating the intermediate Yuan Force forging body secret technique, so the progress is even slower. If the younger sister had already stepped into the Grand Master, it would be difficult to cultivate. It's more timely. If it's a month late, it will be bad. Yi Tian was extremely happy in his heart. This time, he not only wanted to increase his sister Yi Yu's talent, but also to improve his sister's cultivation talent and create a perfect foundation for her. Of course. In fact, at the moment, it is of little significance for my sister to cast a perfect foundation, because the increase in my sister's attack is far less than 100 times. But Yi Tian still insists on casting a perfect foundation for my sister. If you don't build a perfect foundation, your sister won't be able to give birth to a pseudo-mystical level talent, and her combat effectiveness will be limited in the future. Refining skin, refining meat, refining bones, refining blood, and breaking the limits of the internal organs. The Zhonghai Superbase has corresponding treasures. The value of those treasures is indeed very expensive, and it is difficult for some top forces to cultivate a few geniuses who have cast a perfect foundation. But I can still support only one of my sisters now. After Yi Tian was going to take his sister back to the Zhonghai Superbase, he prepared the treasure for his sister to cast a perfect foundation. Brother, I've been working hard to cultivate. Yi Yu clenched his little fist and raised his head. Okay, my sister has worked hardest. Come, my brother has brought you a small gift. Yi Tian took out a bottle of elixir. It was a talent pill, which could make a martial artist's talent transform into a morning star. Its value was indescribable. If it was placed in the Zhonghai super base, it was enough to cause the great emperor to fight. Many of the emperor's descendants are only extraordinary because their talents are extraordinary. Even if other talents are against the sky and they are lucky enough to be promoted to the holy level, it is difficult to progress, so the value of a talent pill is too great. What is this? Yi Yu was curious. Talent pill, it can transform your cultivation talent to the morning star. Yi Tian explained. Morning star? What level is that? Yi Yu was puzzled. Transcendental level cultivation talent, you should know, right? And the level above the transcendental level cultivation talent is the morning star. Yi Tian said, "Ah, then this pill is too precious. Brother, you can eat it." Yi Yu refused. What is the probability of transcendental level cultivation talent? There are not many transcendental level cultivation talents in the entire Demon Sea Great Base. If a family can give birth to a transcendental level cultivation talent, it will soon rise to become a top family. The treasures that can make top cultivation talents rise to transcendent cultivation talents are almost impossible to find, and they are invaluable. But now, her brother has actually taken out the treasure that transformed her talent into a morning star. Such a treasure, it is estimated that the entire Demon Sea base may not be able to be exchanged. It is too precious. Xiaoyu, my talent is even higher than that of the morning star. You can eat it with confidence, Yi Tian said with a smile. Seeing that Yi Tian didn't seem to be joking, Yi Yu ate this talent pill. Rumble. The metamorphosis begins. I saw that Yi Yu endured unimaginable pain, and after half an hour, Yi Yu's talent truly transformed to the morning star. After letting Yi Yu rest for half an hour, Yi Tian took out the Tianlin cold marrow. Xiaoyu, you have a primary ice talent. Such a talent is not bad among ordinary people, but it is still too bad. This is the Tianlin cold marrow. It can make your ice talent transform to the top. You can also take it. Brother. Yi Yu was very moved. Her brother was too good to her. Such treasures must be very difficult to find, and the value was extraordinary, and Yi Tian took out one after another. She didn't refuse. Only by becoming stronger could she prevent her brother from being born and help her brother. After taking the cold marrow of Tianlin, Yi Yu seemed to be frozen up. Half a day later, Yi Yu woke up, and the ice on his body disappeared. Yi Tian took a look at it with his copying talent, and Yi Yu's talent had changed greatly. Human. Yi Yu. Cultivation talent, morning star. Ice talent, top. That's right, it's really transformed into a top-level ice talent. Yi Tian was very satisfied. It's a pity that treasures that can increase weapon talents are hard to find, and she hasn't heard much about them, otherwise she would definitely find one for Yi Yu. Sister, don't cultivate during this time. Don't impact the Grandmaster realm, Yi Tian solemnly admonished. Good. Yi Yu nodded, and didn't ask why. What her brother asked her to do, she did it. She believed that her brother would not harm her. It must be for her good. Xiaoyu is so good. Yi Tian touched Xiaoyu's head, full of pampering. Immediately, he still informed Yi Yu of the reason, and talked about the matter of casting a perfect foundation. After listening, Yi Yu suddenly realized. Brother, are we leaving the Demon Sea base? Yi Yu asked. Well, after packing up, I'll visit Yu's house again and leave. Yi Tian nodded. Actually, there was nothing to pack, and it was done quickly. Yi Tian asked Yi Yu to wait at home alone, and he came to Yu's house alone. However, one thing took him by surprise. Yu Ling is dead. That's right, the only king of the Yu family is dead. A pavilion. Yi Tian and Yu Ling sat here chatting. Yu Ling at this time became very mature, with a resolute look on her face. She didn't have the posture of a little daughter before. Obviously, after the last beast tide and various things during this time, she became calm. But Yi Tian still saw a faint anxiety in the depths of Yu Ling's eyes. Having lost the only king, the Yu family had a hard time. Yu Ling, how could your ancestor fall? Yi Tian asked. Yu Ling sighed and said, not only has our family's ancestor fallen, but there have also fallen more than a dozen king-level people in the base, and it is still related to that spatial rift. What's going on? Isn't that spatial rift sealed? Could it be that there is a powerful king beast coming? Yi Tian frowned. No. Yu Ling shook his head, and then said, It was the fierce beasts from the sea that came over and raided the king level of the top-level array, and in desperation, the king level of the three major bases had to rush over and fight with that group of fierce beasts in the sea, and the ancestor fell in that battle. Now, Lord Yun Mengli and the invincible king level of the other two bases are guarding the spatial crack at all times, and this is the only way to keep the spatial rift. Yun Mengli is back again? When Yu Tian left before, he heard that Yun Mengli had returned to the Zhonghai superbase, but he had never seen Yun Mengli in the Zhonghai superbase, and the other party had never looked for him. It stands to reason that he is so famous, Yun Mengli will definitely come to him after hearing about it. Right now, he finally knew. Yun Mengli had already returned to the Demon Sea base, and he didn't know that he had made a great name in the Zhonghai superbase.